Trying to balance streaming with a full time job can make content creation feel a lot heavier than people realize. Hi, I'm Dan. Welcome back to Creator Conversations, the series where I sit down and talk honestly about streaming, content creation, growth, and everything that comes with trying to build something online. And in this episode, I want to talk about something that I think a lot of small creators deal with, especially the ones trying to build something while still working normal jobs. And that's how to balance streaming with a full time job. Because I think this is one of those things that sounds simple when people talk about it online, but in reality, it can be really difficult. It's very easy to make plans for content when you're thinking in an ideal world. You tell yourself you're going to stream this many times a week, upload this many videos, post on all these platforms, stay active everywhere, reply to everything, keep building, keep pushing, keep growing. And on paper, it can all sound very achievable. But then real life gets involved. Work drains you, your energy drops, your time disappears, your brain feels fried by the end of the day, and suddenly the content plan that looked great in your head starts feeling impossible to keep up with. Look, I've been there. I've already spoken before about burnout and what happened when I was trying to do too much. At one point, I was trying to stream more, create loads of content, and push everything as hard as I could alongside a full time job. And it got to a point where it just wasn't healthy. I was exhausted, I was run down, and eventually it all caught up with me. So, one of the biggest things that I've had to learn is that balancing streaming with a full time job is not just about fitting things into your schedule, it's about fitting things in to your life in a way that's actually manageable. And I think that's the first big point. You do not just need a schedule that looks good, you need a schedule that actually works because those are not the same thing. A lot of creators build schedules around what sounds productive, not around what they can realistically sustain. And that's where people get themselves into trouble because if your job is already heavy, stressful, or draining, then you need to be honest about that. You can't build your content plan as if you've got unlimited energy left over at the end of each day. And I think that's where a lot of pressure comes from. People feel like they should be doing more streams, more videos, more shorts, more posts, just more everything. But if your work life is already demanding a lot from you, then content creation needs to fit around that in a way that doesn't destroy you. For me, one of the biggest improvements I made was changing the way I handled daily uploads. There was a point where trying to create videos daily just felt like another pressure hanging over me all of the time. It made every day feel like there was always something else I should be doing. And that's not a great feeling when you're already balancing work, streaming, and everything else. So instead of trying to create content every single day in real time, I changed the system. Now I still upload daily, but I do it in a way that fits my life much better. I take a few hours on the weekend, get the content sorted, and schedule it all for the whole week. And that one change made it much more manageable. Because instead of feeling like I was constantly chasing content every single day, I'd already done the work in a block of time that suited me better. That's the sort of thing I mean when I say balance is not about doing less just for the sake of it. It's about doing things smarter. It's about building systems that suit your actual life. And I think that matters so much more than people realize. Because a lot of creators only think in terms of output. How much can I do? How often can I post? And how much content can I make? But I think a much better question is how can I make this fit my life in a way that doesn't make me miserable? That's the real question. Because if content creation is starting to feel like too much, I think the first thing you need to do is sit down and ask yourself what you actually want from streaming. And I think that's something a lot of people skip. They go straight into trying to do everything without ever really deciding what success even looks like for them. Do you want fast growth? Do you want streaming to become a job one day? Do you want to build a wider audience? Do you want to focus on discoverability? Or do you just want a good stream, a solid little community, and a handful of regulars that make going live enjoyable? because those are all very different goals. And I think your content strategy should reflect that. If you're someone who just wants a handful of regulars popping into your stream, good conversation, a nice atmosphere, and you don't really care about big numbers and fast growth, then honestly, you probably don't actually need a load of extra content. You might not need daily videos. You might not need to be pushing clips everywhere. You might not need to treat streaming like part two of some bigger content machine. And I think that's important to say because a lot of creators online will tell you that streaming needs to be secondary content. They'll say the stream is really just there to generate clips, content ideas, or videos for other platforms. And I actually do think there's truth in that if your goal is fast growth. If you want to grow quickly, be more discoverable, and push your channel further, then yes, having content outside the streams matters a lot. I don't think that's wrong, but I also don't think that applies exactly the same way to everybody. Because if you're happy with slower growth and you care more about the stream itself and the people in it, then I don't think you need to put the same pressure on yourself to treat every stream like a content farm. And that's where I think I've found a happy middle ground for myself. I do post daily videos because I do think it helps with growth and discoverability. It helps people find me, it helps keep things moving, and it's helped grow the channel outside of the stream. But I don't use streaming as a clip farm. I use streaming as time to hang out with my community. That's the difference. If we get clips, great. If we get good moments for content, amazing. But if we don't, and we've just had a really good stream, just an evening chatting, playing, and spending time with the community, then to me, that still is a successful stream. And I think more creators need to hear that because too many people put pressure on what they have to get out of every stream. They feel like the stream needs to perform, it needs clips, it needs big moments, it needs growth, it needs something measurable out of it. And I just think sometimes you should just enjoy it, especially if your work schedule is already heavy and stressful. Because if work has taken a lot out of you that week, maybe the best thing your stream can be is just a good stream. A place to unwind, a place to hang out with your community, a place for your regulars to pop in and have a chat, and a place where the pressure just drops a bit. And then if work allows a bit more breathing room, a bit more time, a bit more headspace, maybe that's when you put some of that space to schedule content. Make extra videos, push growth a bit more. That feels much healthier to me than trying to force exactly the same level of output every single week, no matter what real life looks like. Because real life does change. Some weeks are heavier than others. Some work weeks leave you with absolutely nothing left, and some weeks give you a bit more space. And I think your content system needs to be flexible enough to reflect that. That's why I don't think there's one perfect mold that fits everybody, and there isn't one creator formula that works for every person. Some people can handle loads. Some people need a lighter schedule. Some people want growth as fast as possible, and some people are happy just building slowly and organically. Some people just want to go live and enjoy the stream. And every single one of those things is absolutely fine. The important thing is that you're honest with yourself with what you actually want, what you can actually sustain, what kind of creator life actually fits around your real life. If you get it wrong, everything starts feeling heavier than it needs to. And I think the more honest you are with yourself about your goals, your energy, your reality, the easier it becomes to build something that actually works. For me, balance has looked like doing less in some ways, just doing it better. It's meant a healthier schedule, it's meant planning smarter, it's meant using the weekends to take a little bit of pressure off of the week. It's meant still posting daily, but in a more manageable way. And it's meant remembering that the stream itself doesn't always need to be squeezed for content. Sometimes the stream can just be the stream. And honestly, I really think that matters. Because if you lose the enjoyment of going live, then even a perfectly optimized content strategy won't feel that rewarding. So I think if there's one message in this episode, it's this. Balancing streaming with a full-time job is less about copying what works for other people and more about building something that fits into your life. If content creation feels like too much, Sit down and work out what you actually want from streaming. If you want fast growth, then yes, extra content probably does matter a lot. But if you're happy with slower growth and a stronger focus on community, then maybe the stream itself is enough to be the main thing. And if you can find your own middle ground, that one that gives you room to grow without ruining the fun, then that's probably the best balance you can find. Before I finish the video, I want to quickly mention that we're raising money for the WWF. If you'd like to support that, then the donation link will be in the description. 90% of the donations through that link will go to the charity. And if you want to donate through the Twitch fundraiser, then 100% will go directly to them. And if you want to keep up with everything I'm doing, make sure to follow me across all of my social medias. Follow me on Twitch for the live streams and join my Discord as well, so you can keep up with the community, the streams, the updates, and all of my future content. All the links are down below, and if you enjoyed this episode, let me know what topic you want me to talk about next. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.